Live from the house that Penske built, it's the AZ Direct Michigan 280. The Top Fuel Racing Series is on the air. Tony Trapasso up in the booth with you tonight. Got to run down our good friends that are helping out. Of course, we've got to give a big shout out to AZ Direct for putting up the purse tonight. For all your computer needs, they do ship worldwide. AZ Direct is where you want to go. And tonight's overlay being brought to you by PZ Overlays. Paul Zota providing some of the most beautiful overlays in all of iRacing. For more information on how you can get your own, you can find Paul Zota on his Facebook page. That's Paul Zota, PZ Overlays. And being that it is October, we do have to remind you that 1 in 8 women, unfortunately, will develop breast cancer in their lifetime. So, ladies, get tested, please. I know I speak for everyone in the Top Fuel Racing League and here at Both Broadcasting when we tell you that early detection is the best way to solve the problem. So it may not be the most fun thing in the world to do, but get tested early, get tested often as you possibly can. And October is also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Ladies, you're not alone. There is a hotline, and we do believe you. 1-800-799-7233. 1-800-799-7233. And if you're in the middle of something and you can't take it anymore, ask him what he wants on his pizza, call 911 and just order a pizza. They'll send a cop to your house. Trust me, I've seen that trick done, and it worked very well for the woman who did it. Qualifying underway here in Michigan. We're going to bring up the timing and scoring screen real quick. Garrett Main sitting atop the board right now. 32,924. Keith Mayato, 30 thousandths of a second off of him. Sam Cooper Bennett, only 8 thousandths back. Michael Jeans, only another 3 thousandths back. Jeff Hollingsworth actually tied with Michael Jeans right now. Michael Jeans put the time up first, so he's going to get the spot over Jeff Hollingsworth. Sage Karam, 7 thousandths back off of them. Dave Martinez, 3 thousandths off. Tyler Vickery. We are going to take a quick look at Sean Scott right now. And Sean rocking the pink this week, actually this month, to bring awareness to the whole breast cancer awareness thing. Again, ladies, please get tested early, get tested often. Fight with your insurance company if you have to. Get those tests done and save the tatas for us all, please. Huge fan. Don't want to see any woman have to suffer through that. And conversely, Mark Walker rocking the purple this month in recognition of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Again, if you're having a situation and you don't want to just flat out say, I'm calling the cops, ask your better half, or your other half, I should say, your lesser half, what they want on their pizza. Call 911 and say, yeah, I'd like to order a pizza. Most 911 operators are trained to recognize that if you're calling them and asking for a pizza, they need to send a cop car to your house. And just, yeah, like, blah, blah, blah on the pizza. Yeah, sure, we'll take wings. Here's my address. I guarantee you within the next 5 minutes there'll be a cop car there. And what was happening will no longer be taking place. So no one should have to go through that. And as I've said numerous times, if I ever find somebody raising their hand to a woman, they're no longer going to be considered a man. I believe in Roman times they would be considered a eunuch when I got done with them. So, back to the task at hand. Kyle Streichers goes 12th quick on his second lap. So, calling an end to his. Captain Will Kirk out on track right now, coming around to complete his first flyer. And the captain jumps up to 9th quick. So, good run on the captain. He's going to call it one and done there. Jake Potak. I hope I'm saying that right, Jake. If I'm not, I'm sorry. But we haven't seen Jake a lot this season. Currently sitting 22nd quick, coming around for his second flyer. That bumps him up to 13th quick. And new name to the league tonight, Alberto Ribeiro. I hope I'm saying that right. As getting ready to end qualifying here relatively shortly. So, take a quick look at who is where currently. Garrett Maines, Keith Mayato, Sam Cooper Bennett had a great qualifying run. Good on you, Sam. Michael Jeans, Jeff Hollingsworth, Nate Siefker, Sage Karam, Damon Martinez, Will Kirk, and Tyler Vickery rounding out your top 10 with about 15 seconds left to go. So, that is going to about do it for the qualifying session. So if you haven't gotten them in, too late, so sad, too bad. As drivers now getting ready to grid up. Take a quick look at our grid brought to you by AZ Direct. Starting up on the point, Garrett Maines. He's joined with the Canadian crippler Keith Mayato. Row number 2 is going to go to the Irish Assassin, Sam Cooper Bennett. He's joined with the Lone Star State's Michael Deeds. The California Kid, Jeff Hollingsworth, is joined by Nate Siefker. The Pennsylvania Posse member Sage Karam is going to be joined with his teammate Damon Martinez in row number 4. Row 5 is going to see Captain Will Kirk and Tyler Vickery roll off. Kieran Brugelli and Ernie Ludwig going to roll off in row number 6. Row 7 is going to see Jake Potak and Kyle Streichers. With row 8 going to Mark McFadden and Kevin O'Brien. Mark Walker and Paul Crumry make up row number 9. Row 10 is going to see Scott Brinson and Robert Dudley roll off. Row 11, Johnny Antonucci and Sean Scott. Raul Alvarez and Jake Champion roll it off in row number 12. Alberto Ribeiro and Dylan Moskowitz going to start in row 13. And starting shotgun on the field all by his lonesome in the 27th starting spot, Chris Walker. So 27 cars scheduled to roll off in this one. And I am seeing new paint schemes. No, I'm not. Yeah, I am. So, new paint for Cooper Bennett tonight. Garrett Maines starting up on the point. 140 laps of scheduled distance here on the 2-mile Michigan International Speedway. The house that Penske built. So, you'll have to bear with me, folks. I've been under the weather the last couple of days. Just finally able to keep solid foods down recently. Sinus infections are a bitch. But we're going to try to get through it. And it looks like Chris Walker is going to be pit starting. And as you can see from the Safer Berry on the exit of turn 2, that's kind of been calamity corner all through the hot lap session. So keep your eye on that as the field works its way down the back straightaway on the pace lap. Into the 3-4 complex they go. Again, you're watching the AZ Direct Michigan 280, part of the Top Fuel Racing Series. They do this every Wednesday night. Pace car getting ready to make that hard left turn onto pit road. Garrett May's going to have control of the field. The only thing that's left to say is, Grandpa, it's time to pop a Viagra because it's time to get it on in Michigan.
Green flag, green flag.
Maines pulls the trigger. We are underway. Mayato and Jeans already battling it out as they haul off into turn number 1 side by side. Cooper Bennett on the low line as well. And he's got Nate Seifker right behind him. So the former teammates running nose to tail right now. Cooper Bennett already making a bid towards the front. Had a great pull down the back straight. Michael Jeans to the point. Garrett Maines side by side with Sam Cooper Bennett for second. Bennett going to have to lift. And here comes Hollingsworth. So they're 3 wide for 4th. Cooper Bennett using that second lane to keep his foot into it. Hollingsworth going to have to slip up in front of, that's Keith Mayato in 6th right now. Michael Jeans back to the point. Here comes Seifker as well. We'll give that lap to Michael Jeans. Garrett Maines dropping down. Gets the pull down the front chute. Drops down low. Here comes Seifker as well. So Jeans under heavy attack for second right now. Cooper Bennett and Hollingsworth almost brush wheels coming off of 2. And Jeans has those runs timed almost perfect right now as they're 3 wide for a second. Cooper Bennett wisely lifting out of it. Hollingsworth to the 4th spot. Nate Seifker keeping his foot in it. Cooper Bennett slips up. Hollingsworth has to check up. Aero push is definitely real tonight. 4 laps in, and they've already worn all of the real goodie off the tires. As Mayato and Sage Karam, Karam gets by cleanly. Mayato under attack right now. That's Kirk on his high side. Here comes Martinez as well. And that's Kyle Streichars in the 07. Hanging with him right there. Meanwhile, Cooper Bennett on the high side got Karam for drafting help. Going to get 4th away from Jeff Hollingsworth. That high line seems to be where you're going to want to be, especially to try to make some moves, because you can keep the car wound up, and if you can pinch the guy down low, and keep him down there, he's going to have to lift and lose a ton of momentum to stay off you. And field already starting to get strung out a little bit. As Jeans and Hollingsworth still playing leapfrog. Nate Siefker there as well. It's Garrett Maines, Michael Jeans, Nate Siefker. Sam Cooper Bennett holds down the number 4 slot. Sage Karam in 5th. Hollingsworth 6th. Keith Mayato in 7th. Damon Martinez 8th. Will Kirk 9th. Kyle Streichars in 10th. Looks like Sam's going to slot in behind Sage. Get some pull down the back straightaway. He's got Jeff Hollingsworth right there, too. Meanwhile, Jeans and Maines still playing leapfrog. I don't think either one of them has actually led the complete lap. 9 1/1000ths of a second for Garrett Maines at the stripe. These guys are just getting after it. And Sam Cooper Bennett has a pack of angry wolves right behind him. That's Mayato on the high side. Jeff Hollingsworth on the low side. Cooper Bennett trying to block somebody. And Hollingsworth coming out on the losing end of that exchange. He slots up in front of Will Kirk. Oh!
Yellow flag is out.
Will Kirk just went on the ride of the night. And if you'd stop falling, come on. Let's watch that one again. And keep your eye on the MS. Just eats the safer barrier. Oh my Lanta. Who was that he came down on? Like landed on. Jake Champion. Good grief. Let's take a look at the in-car for Mark Walker, see what he saw. Because I can pretty much guarantee the only thing Mark Walker saw was a car landing in front of him. So let's back this up a little bit here. We're on board now with Mark Walker. You're going to see the smoke and fire and brimstone happen in front of him. That's Jake Champion that gets landed on. That'll change the flavor of your fire suit real quick. As we are working lap 12, caution number 1 is out. Paul Crumry staying out. So Crumry stays out to get the bonus point for leading the lap. And that was just, whew, that was a wild one. Michael Jean's going to win the battle off pit road. And Kevin O'Brien missed his pit stall. It looks like Siefker and Karam trying to figure out who goes where. So Krumrie gets the bonus point for leading the lap there. Michael Jeans winning the battle off pit road comes out in currently second. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Krumrie is probably going to pit for tires here. And it looks like he is. He's dropping down. Looking like he's going in. Safe bet. Stays out. Interesting. Well then. This restart's going to get very interesting very quickly. As you've got Paul Krumrie with a 13-lap difference between his tires and the rest of the field. Lights are already out on the pace car. So you've got Krumrie, Jean, Siefker, Karam, Mayato, Hollingsworth, O'Brien, Cooper Bennett, Streichars, and Potak. So the field working its way into the 3-4 complex. You are watching the Top Fuel Racing Indy Series. They do this every Wednesday night. If you want to get involved, as we are halfway, tonight is the halfway point of the season. So if you want to get involved in the second half of the season, go ahead and drop a comment with your iRacing screen name. We'll get that passed along to league management, see if we can get you added into some future action. Also, don't forget to join us this coming Sunday as Krumrie pulls the trigger, and we are back underway. Krumrie wasting no time. And Michael Jeans and Nate Siefker go side by side as they haul it off into turn number 1. Sage Karam and Keith Mayato are side by side. Siefker backs out a little bit. Jeans gets the clear, and Siefker going to use him as a tow down the back straightaway. But don't forget to join us this coming Sunday as the BOFA Indy Classic Series will take on Road Atlanta. Arguably the longest straightaway in all of North America. So give that lap to Michael Jeans. 3 wide into turn 1. Nate Siefker making his voice heard. Gonna have to feather it to stay off everybody. Michael Jeans and Paul Krumrie able to keep the foot into it. Krumrie going to use the toe down the straightaway, bombs it into turn number 3, gets it to stick, gets the clear, going to slide up and throw the block on Michael Jeans. Jeans has a lane on the high side, going to be able to keep it wound up. Siefker trying for it. 3/1000ths of a second for Nate Siefker at the line. Wow. And we're only working lap 17, folks. Keep that in mind. Shows you just how important every bonus point is in this league. Siefker has some clean air now. Jean's going to drop down and give that lap to Siefker again. Sage Karam has cleared Paul Krumrie and now sets his sights on reeling in the leaders. And you know Jeans and Siefker are both well aware that if the resident alien gets into clean air, thanks for coming. We'll see you next week. But all they're doing by racing that hard is just punching a bigger hole in the air to let Sage Karam get a better tow, especially down this back straightaway here. Good grief. We're going to check in with Paul Krumreis. He's running side-by-side with Keith Maiato. That's Jake Pollock right behind him. Sorry, Potak right behind him. Karam all over the back wing of Jeans right now. Maiato right there. Krumreis right there. Potak right there. As is Jake Champion. So it looks like catching a race car to the face didn't do anything to affect the 10. And Siefker and Jeans still throwing bombs at each other. One 1,000th of a second at the line. Okay, that's a 7. I'm sorry. And you got to wonder when Paul Krumreis is going to have to pit. He's the only car that hasn't gone pit side yet. And it looks like Chris Walker has put it on the hauler already. Got the show-up points. Didn't want to risk it tonight. And Jeans and Siefker just still throwing bombs at each other. Potak to the inside of to the inside of Maiato. Has to lift. New to the league, realize that yes, you can use the apron here. A lot of leagues, they don't let you use the apron. This is one of the few that we run that they do let you use the apron. And let the blinking begin. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Michael Jeans disappearing like that's probably scared the hell out of Nate Siefker for a little bit. Siefker probably backed out of it. Now he's got his foot back into it. Down on the low side. About to get freight trained. Here comes Sage Karam. $220 miles an hour hauling it off into turn number 3. Good grief. And Tyler Vickery has ripped the front end off his car. Not sure exactly what happened there. Let's go back and take a quick look. And did he have some help? Not really. Yeah, really. Hip check. It is hockey season, but not at 220 miles an hour, folks. Bad idea. So that's going to make him burn his fast repair. He's got to be praying for a caution right about now. The rest of us, not much. As Champion dives it to the inside of Karam. And here comes Scotty Brinson. No hole for Brinson, though. Has to lift out of it. That's your top 2 in points, slugging it out right now for 4th. And Michael Jeans gets it all wrong coming off a 2, loses a ton of spots. Calamity Corner almost bites another one. And Brinson getting the blinkies now. Not a good idea. Keith Mayato's got to be wondering where the hell Brinson's going to end up. Hopefully not in his own lap. So that moves Jake Champion up into second. Stage Karam stays in third. There's Jeans and Brinson slugging it out. That's your battle for fourth. And Jake Champion to the point. Nate Siefker going to keep it wound up on the high side. Drag race to the finish line and give that lap to Siefker. 49 thousandths of a second for Siefker. Here comes Hollingsworth throwing his hat in the ring now, too. Whoa, hang on to her, Jeff. All the way down to the apron on the slide for life, comes up in front of Brinson. Brinson keeps his foot in it, though. As we are working lap 30, and you got to wonder how much fuel Paul Krumrie has left in the tank. Siefker and Champion now throwing hand grenades at each other. Siefker keeping it wound up. And Champion going to use the toe. Brinson trying to get a toe off both of them. A car length at the line. And here comes Brinson. And there goes Brinson. Brinson side by side with Champion, trying to make his way up towards the front. And you kind of have to think that Nate Siefker right now is just practicing timing his runs for the end of the race. Scott Brinson going to use Nate Siefker as a pick, keeping Jake Champion pinned up there. Brinson hauls it off into turn number one, keeps his foot into it. Can he get the clear? Brinson gives plenty of room. Side by side down the back straightaway they go, hauling off into turn number three. Side by side at 220 miles an hour. And 3/1000ths of a second for Siefker. Less than half of the width of the front wing. As Mark McFadden coming out of the pits. Right in front of the leaders. Talk about ill-fated timing. Holy cow, that could have ended poorly. So give that one to Brinson. And I have no idea who that is in front of him. Raul Alvarez. Not something you expect to see too often. Rawl usually usually towards the front of the field. Very uncommon to see him running towards the back like that. Gets way out of the way. Lets these guys have at it. So good on you for doing that, sir. And Krumrie finally takes it pit side on lap 38. Holy Christmas. Michael Jean's back up into the mix after having that pucker moment about 20 laps ago. So we're looking right around mid-30s for how far you can make it on a boat of fuel. Depending on how much you save and how much you use sixth gear and how much the wind blows in a certain direction and how much you paid off the official to give you... No, I'm sorry, that's 1970s Le Mans. Never mind. So quick rundown of your top 10. Scotty Brinson showing the way. Jake Champion sitting in second. Michael Jean, Sage Karam, Nate Siefker, Jeff Hollingsworth, Keith Mayato, Mark Walker, Sean Scott, and Alberto Ribeiro? But I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. I need to get with me before the races to give me a pronunciation on those names. That's Mark McFadden right there running with the leaders. Looking to get one of his laps back the hard way, it looks like. Scott Brinson is just flat checked out. Plain and simple. 1.2 seconds to the good right now for Brinson. Michael Jean sitting in second, slugging it out with Jake Champion. McFadden finally letting the leaders go. And what happened to Siefker? Here we are watching, just catches the apron, goes on the slide for life, has to lift to get out of it. Dirt tracking in IndyCar. Not something you want to have happen on a regular basis. So Siefker now running towards the tail end of the lead lap. 11 seconds off Scotty Brinson. There's Brinson crossing the line, and there's Michael Jean's a second and a half back. And Sage Karam gets the death wiggle as he touches the apron coming through 1 and 2. Loses a ton of momentum. We are getting close to where we're going to start seeing green flag stops here, folks. Tire wear might not be a factor, but the fuel load will be. If I'm not mistaken, they're only running a 75% fuel load in this car. So roughly 14 gallons. So you figure roughly 2 gallons a lap. So mid-30s. 2.5, maybe 3. So Mayato is up into second now. 2 seconds back from Scotty Brinson. Brinson showing why he is the defending Indy Series champion. And the field's starting to get a little strung out now. Garrett Main's battling it out. That is Ribeiro. I hope I'm saying that right, bud. Maine's into 9th. Here comes Ernie Ludwig as well. I gotta think that Sage Karam right now is just running a fuel run. Trying to turn as many laps as he possibly can to try to conserve as much fuel as he can. Still 225 miles an hour as they haul up in turn number 1. That's insane. And there is the 07 of Kyle Streichers, who has allowed Keith Mayato. No, I'm sorry. That's Captain Will Kirk. So Streichers and Kirk punching a big hole in the air behind Scott Brinson. And I think we have lost Sam Cooper Bennett. No, we haven't. Just connection issues. Everybody that started still running. So let's go on board with your defending series champion, Mr. Scott Brinson, so you can see what this is like. And Brinson taking it pit side. Up on the jacks he goes. And wholesale pit stops coming right now.
Yellow flag is out.
Oh! Oh, brother, what just happened? Who is it? Who is it? Where are you? Sneaky bastards. Quit falling. Looks like Johnny Antonucci. Just got it wrong coming off of 2. Narrowed that car up by about 2 feet. Well then, that is really going to shake up the order right now. Does it ever? So we saw Brinson had just cleared the exit cone when the caution came out. Now the question is, who else got out safely? As there is a huge kerfluffle right now as far as who is sitting where. Let me make sure I'm live. And I am. So, Brinson being scored as first. Sage Karam being scored in second. Keith Mayato, who had stayed out, just went pit side, is being scored in third. And after that, all hell broke loose. So we are going to stay with this one to make sure that we get this one figured out quickly here. So I dare say wave arounds are coming. Only working caution number 2. And I did warn all the drivers that unless they want to hear Dirty Christmas Carols again, you know, we now have an understanding of how not to do that. So, with all hell breaking loose like it did, we had just started green flag stops. Most of the field came down. And some of those guys may have got caught at the end of pit road. That's what I'm thinking happened. So Potak, Jeans, Maines, Moskowitz, Walker, Ribeiro, Ludwig, Brunelli, Seifger, Bennett. It looks like all those guys got caught at the end of pit road when the caution came out. As they are now getting wave arounds. And if they time this just right, some of them might be able to cold trickle the field.
Hang on, we're not going green.
That's why Scott Brinson's in charge of this piece, making sure nobody can cold trickle the field. So, going to be interesting to see how this one plays out, because wave rounds generally go to the tail end of the longest line. So, why is Jake Champion showing us? What is Jake Champion doing? What are you doing? Okay. Well then. That's a thing, apparently. And it looks like Kevin O'Brien might have put it on the hauler. No, he hasn't. Connection issues. Thanks, iRacing. Lights are back out on the pace car. Brinson has control. Mayato sitting in second. Jeff Hollingsworth, Sean Scott, Sage Karam, Robert Dudley, Paul Crumry, Jake Potak, Michael Jeans, and Garrett Maines rounding out your top 10. We're going to be going green to start lap 58 of 140. Had a decent green flag run in there, boys. See if we can take her all the way home from here. And I know I just jinxed the field, so get your hate mail coming, folks. That's Torrey Paso, Syracuse, New York, P.O. Box OU 812. I would like to remind everybody, if you are in the greater central New York area or the surrounding vicinities, and you have planned or don't have plans this weekend, it is the most wonderful time of the year if you are a dirt racing fan. Super Dirt Week in Oswego, New York. Tech In happened yesterday. I believe they got some practice in today. Not sure what happened with the small block race at Weedsport tonight. And Brinson not wasting any time. Pace car makes the hard left. Brinson pulls the trigger. We are back off and running. Hollingsworth has a good run on the inside. That's Mayano on the high side. Sean Scott on the high side. And here comes Sage Karam to the low side. As they're 3 wide through turn 1 and 2. Karam's going to get a twofer and now sets his sights on reeling in Brinson. Karam and Brinson side by side into turn number 1. Karam with a hell of a run, like he's shot out of a cannon. Brinson now going to use the draft to reel him back in. Brinson to the low side, Karam on the high side. Number 1 and number 2 in points. As they do the Indy Snake down the back straightaway, the house that Penske built. Brinson going to lead that lap and start blinking. And here comes Mayano to the inside of Karam. Karam has his teammate right there as well. That's Sean Scott. Mayano goes to throw the block. Not knowing where Brinson is has got to be a little nerve-wracking at 220 miles an hour as they haul off into turn number 3. Mayano with a hell of a toe down the front chute. Here comes Sean Scott as well to the inside. Brinson breaking the draft. Scott right there with him. Had a little bit of drafting help for a second there from Keith Mayano. Mayano had to back out of it because aero push is a thing here. Give that one to Brinson by 41 thousandths of a second. Now, just so you folks get an understanding of how close things are, you blink your eyes on an average of 10 one-thousandths of a second. So that's how close these guys are running at the stripe. Brinson backing way out of it. Knows he's having connection issues. Doesn't want to be that guy. And here comes Robert Dudley to the inside. Dudley and Karam side by side into turn number 3. Dudley with the clean air. Karam in the dirty air behind Keith Mayano. has to back out of it. Dudley keeps his foot into it. Now going to get a little bit of a tow from Mayato. Mayato trying to work the air right now, and here comes Garrett Mays. Main slats up in front of Hollingsworth. Gets the pull off the rookie, Jake Paltak. Side by side with Sage Karam as they come to the stripe. Karam able to keep it wound up. And these guys are racing like it's the last lap, and we're only working lap 66. The rookie's on a charge right now. Sage Karam with no help, having to fall back. He's got Brinson right behind him. Paltak right behind Robert Dudley. Dudley crosses him over. To the inside as they haul off into turn number 3. This is your battle for third. Paltak going to sail it off in there. 3 wide for fourth. Brinson keeps his foot into it, gets the pull from the rookie. Paltak working on Mayato right now. Brinson to the inside as they haul up into turn number 3. Gonna dive it in there. Brinson showing why he is the defending series champion. Was back to 10th, now back up into 3rd. And slugging away at 2nd. Oh! Shit. Robert Dudley going on a Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. What the hell happened there? Hollingsworth gets into him and just punted. Holy Christmas. Let's see what the chopper picked up. Keep your eye on the yellow and white car on the high side. It's Hollingsworth on the low side. Gets into him, into the wall. Down he goes and just punted. Captain Will Kirk had nowhere to go. Just hand grenades Robert Dudley. But we stay green. Thank God this is a simulator. And Brinson making a run for the point. Back into first he goes. Sean Scott right on his rear wing. And don't count out Jake Paltak. Now, I know for a fact you can bump draft in the DW12 and the IR05. Haven't seen it so much in the IR18s yet. Probably not a good idea to try to find out now. But I can speak from experience, folks. The first time you're driving an Indy car, the older Indy cars, and you see that little green text in the iRacing that says Contact 0x, and you glance down at the speedometer in the car and you realize that you're now doing 20 miles an hour faster than you should be doing. It's an eye-opening experience. And there's about 4 people in the entire sim that I will trust to do that, and only one of them is in the race tonight. Potak and Scott almost making contact. Sage Karam wisely taking his foot off the pedal to try to stay out of it. Saw what was going on in front of him and just went, yeah, that's probably not a good idea. So Scotty Brinson's starting to check out. And Potek might have some damage, because he is starting to get freight trained right now. And no, actually, we're getting towards the point of the run where you've worn all of the goodie off the tires, and running that low line is not advantageous.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
And that's not good. Kieran Bergelli, what happened there? Watch the birdie. Oh! Jake Champion and Kyle Streichers get into it. Champion bounces off the wall, turns Streichers. Both of them are along for the ride, and Bergelli, a victim of circumstance. And again, Mark Walker flirts with death. We're on board now. Watch this. Zip, zip, zip. So there's the depends moment of the night. Mark Walker changing the flavor of his fire suit to a chocolate lemon again. Holy cow. So as Brinson leads him down pit road, we're going to step away for a real quick word here from our good friends at the Esports Network.
And he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's going to pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing.
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save.
Look to the outside as Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
I'm going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying, there's contact though.
Wide left of the racetrack. Chris Renner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact. He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Micah Schubert, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
And we are back. The AZ Direct, Michigan 280. Sage Karam winning the battle off pit road. Stop of the night, 7.2 seconds in his stall. Sean Scott coming out in second. A lot of drivers looking for some wave rounds. The question is, how long can they stay out? Because most of the cars that I'm seeing are quite a ways into their fuel stint. So there's your leader, Mr. Sage Karam, our resident alien. And again, there is an open call out right now as we are going to Road Atlanta this coming Sunday in the BOFA Classic Indy Series. And if you think you can take Sage on a road course in the Lotus 79, we would love to have you. Only stipulation is you got to race and clean. So, open call out to anybody with the Lotus 79 and Road Atlanta. As the lights go out on the pace car, you can find the BOFA Classic Indy Series on its Facebook page, or you can find it in the league directory on iRacing. Round 3 this coming Sunday. So, quick rundown of your top 10 as we're working caution number 3. Sage Karam, Sean Scott, Scott Brinson, Keith Mayato, Jake Potak having a hell of a run. Jeff Hollingsworth, Garrett Mays, Paul Crumrine, Nate Siefker, and Michael Jeans, rounding out your top 10. So number 1 and number 2 in points going to be starting nose to tail, or tail to nose as the case were. Defending series champion Scott Brinson leads the points by 3. We are halfway tonight. Sage Karam, 3 points out of first, currently leads the event. Now, they both have a bonus point for leading a lap. Pace car is in. Karam holds him down. Finally rolls into it. And he is off and running. Scott Brinson slightly asleep at the switch. Keith Mayato, again, also asleep at the switch. Now having to fight with Jake Potak. Here comes Brinson with a hell of a pull down the back chute. Brinson again going to keep it wound up. Dives it into turn number 3. Potak tries to follow him through. Karam shuts the door.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Really, guys? Come on. What are we doing? Mark Walker, what happened to you? That happened with Michael Jeans. So, we go ahead and take a look at what happened with Michael. Ooh! Oh my. Keep your eye on the orange car. Gets split down the middle. Doesn't realize Nate Siefker's there. Looks like Jake Champion caught a piece of that one too. So there's Champion in the purple car. Goes down, torpedoes Champion. And Champion is the one that collected Mark Walker. And with the net code going on, I'm sure Walker's probably going, what the hell just hit me? That was Jake Champion. So that's a hell of a note. And Brinson had just taken the lead. So we are working caution number 4. Yeah. So while we are under caution, let me make sure we're live. While we are under caution, we are going to reach out to the man who's currently second in points, second on the track, but our resident alien, Mr. Sage Karam. Sage, Tony up in the booth, you got me, sir.
Yep.
So how bad is the aero push in traffic in this car right now?
I like it. Feels pretty good for me. It's not too bad, but I haven't really fallen back outside the top 5, so I'm sure it's worse back there, but it's good for me. I'm just kind of chilling, saving fuel. I don't really even want to lead right now, so I just led 1 lap to get my bonus point, and I'll let Scott take the other bonus point for most laps led, but, you know, he's using a lot of fuel, so I'll just sit behind him.
Fair enough. As far as tire wear goes, we noticed that, you know, we had a lot of guys staying out to kind of get off sequence under the first couple of cautions. Tire wear a concern tonight, or is that not something that's really rearing its ugly head for once?
No, it is. I mean, fronts go off pretty good, but, you know, I'm pretty comfortable with it. There's some drivers, I guess, looking like they're falling off a lot more than others, so it's just, if you can find cleaner air and just be comfortable with it, you can stay out and not really have to worry about it. But obviously, you know, 4 fresh boots are going to be quicker than, you know, your tires at the end of a stint. So, yeah, I mean, it's not a bad call pitting early to grab tires, but at the same time, you almost, you know, if your car's good on old and you can drive it, you don't need to.
Fair enough. Looks like the lights are getting ready to go out on the pace car. We're going to let you get back to it. Best of luck to you, Sage.
Yeah, thank you.
So that was Sage Karam. As lights do go out on the pace car. Working lap 86. So that's going to put Champion out. Streicher's out. Tyler Vickery has put it on the hauler. Robert Dudley has put it on the hauler. And Chris Walker did not start, so 22 cars still running in this one. Just past the halfway point of the AZ Direct Michigan 280. Brinson gonna have the button. Now the question is, now we've seen it time and time again, when we're gonna pull that off of there, we're gonna follow along with Brinson. Somebody gets a hell of a start and just gets freight trained down the back straightaway.
Green, green, green.
Brinson pulls the trigger. Karam immediately throws the block on Potak. And here comes pole sitter Garrett Maines, making his way back up towards the front like he's shot out of a cannon. Has a hell of a run going down the back straightaway. He pulls alongside of Potak, inside of Karam, and right on the rear wing of Scotty Brinson. Nate Siefker looks like he stayed out under that last caution. Doesn't look like he got a lot of damage from the wheel bang that he had with Michael Jeans. Whoa, hang on to her, son. Potak just went on a hell of a ride as Brinson and Maines were drag racing down that back straightaway. Maines going to have a run at him at the line. Going to try to pinch him down. Brinson going to work his way back up. And now just dives it into turn number one. Garrett Maines up to the point. Brinson going to try to reel him back in. Crosses him over, coming to the stripe.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
And what the hell just happened? Oh, no. What did just happen? Wow. That looks pretty bad. The Brazilian and the Brit got together. Let's see what the chopper picked up on that one. So it's Nate Siefker getting into the wall. Sam Cooper Bennett. What the hell just happened? So there's Cooper Bennett fighting to keep it off the wall. And unfortunately, Ribeiro he had a run and the door got shut. Doesn't look like there's a ton of damage on Cooper Bennett's car. So he should be okay. Matter of fact, it doesn't look like there's any damage on his car. Oh, yeah, there it is. Missing the winglet. So yeah, there definitely was contact. So hopefully he has not burned his fast repair. And we've got some pit stops coming in. Guys looking to get off sequence, it looks like. Brinson stays out, Crumrice stays out, Sam Cooper Bennett stays out, damage and all. I dare say Sam's going to get told here that he's missing a winglet, as that's Kevin O'Brien went to his inside. So expect to see Cooper Bennett take it pit side this time. Or not. Apparently not. Let's see how much that affects him when we go back to green. So Kevin O'Brien going pit side now. Ernie Ludwig going pit side. Of the cars that did pit, Garrett Maines beating Sage Karam off pit road. Garrett Maines with a 7 flat. Damon Martinez with a 6.6 in his stop, or in his stall. Good grief. So it looks like lights are going out on the pace car. Nope. Next lap. So far, Scotty Brinson has led 41 of 92 laps. And Rated R Motorsports has 3 cars in the top 3. Huge point implications for the entirety of Rated R. As now the lights go out on the pace car. Field starts to form up 2 by 2. Take a quick look at your top 10. Scott Brinson, Paul Crumry, Sam Cooper Bennett, Sean Scott, Garrett Maines, Sage Karam, Keith Mayato, Damon Martinez, Jeff Hollingsworth, and Kieran Brighelli. And Brighelli we saw go on one hell of a ride earlier, so good to see him rebounding like that. The guy we're going to keep an eye on, though, right now, is my normal partner in crime, Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett. And we're going to see what's about to happen here without that winglet on the left side of the car. This is going to get very interesting very quickly. Brinson leads him into the turn 3-4 complex. He's going to have the button when they go back live. And I'm interested to find out just how much that bodywork damage is going to affect Cooper Bennett. Pace car's in. Brinson pulls the trigger. Crumry goes with him. Cooper Bennett gets a decent start. He's going to edge out Sean Scott here. No real drafting help for Cooper Bennett. Brinson drops down to try to pick him up. Garrett Maines splits him, as does Sage Karam. Again, I'm not sure if Sam's already used his fast repair or not. It's Garrett Maines working to the high side of Sage Karam right now, as they're 3 wide for third. Karam keeps his foot into it. Then a drift up in front of Maines. Now, you know Garrett Maines has got to be a little bit pissed off. He missed his 4th straight podium in a row last week. Wants to make up for it right now. Brinson and Crumry side by side. All that's doing is punching a huge hole in the air right now for Sage Karam and Garrett Maines. Maines working the hell out of the draft right now. Sits in 3rd. Crumry right behind his teammate. So we're keeping an eye also on Sam Cooper Bennett. That's him in the blue and white car, missing some body pieces. And it looks like he is suffering. Yeah, there's about a 4-mile-an-hour difference down the back straightaway for Cooper Bennett. 4 miles an hour off the pace right now because of that missing body work. As Karam to the inside of Crumry. So Karam up into second. Here comes Maines trying to follow him through. And Scotty Brinson just clicking off laps in the lead, hoping to secure most laps led before the night's out. Meanwhile, Garrett Maines, Jeff Hollingsworth are throwing hands at each other there for a second. Hollingsworth wisely backing out of it. And here comes Damon Martinez. We haven't heard a lot from Damon so far tonight. But he has worked his way up into a solid top 10. Just clawed tooth and nail all night to do it. And his teammate Sean Scott slugging it out with Garrett Maines right now. Maines was your pole sitter, dropped back early. Sage Karam with a little bit of a death wiggle in between 1 and 2. You saw him just touch the apron. That killed a ton of momentum. Here comes Garrett Maines to the inside. Going to sail it off into turn number 1. Going to get the clear, and Karam going to stay right behind him. "39 laps to go." Scotty Brinson showing the way. Paul Crumry sitting in second. Garrett Maines hoping to make up for last week at Phoenix. Just missed out on a podium. Would have been his 4th straight. And he's been on a tear as of late. Maines bombs it to the inside on Crumry. Crumry keeping it wound up on that second lane. 24 laps into a run, Crumry can hang with Garrett Maines, who's only half. Maines has half the amount of usage on his tires, and Crumry can stay with him in that second lane. So that just goes to show you exactly what the tire wear is looking like, and that's what we were talking with Sage Karam about. If you can get into clean air and you can find your groove, you can make that second lane work. And you can make older tires work, as Paul Crumry is attesting to right now, as he is keeping Garrett Maines at bay. And before anybody asks, yes, Paul Crumry and Scott Brinson are on the same team. However, the only team orders on Rated R Motorsports is Rule 1, try not to kill each other. Rule 2, try not to kill each other. Rule 3, say it with me, try not to kill each other. And Rule 4, if you are going to kill each other, make sure it's a Sports Center highlight. As we are going to be 35 to go this time across the stripe. Scotty Brinson continues to show the way. Paul Crumry sits in second. Garrett Maines third. Sage Karam and Sean Scott rounding out your top 5. We have not seen the money stop yet. Everybody on track has to come down for at least one more stop. And that's when you're going to see the fireworks, ladies and gentlemen. Sage Karam to the inside of Garrett Maines. Sails it off into 1. Lets it run off of 2. Maines comes back on him on the back straightaway.
Yellow flag is out.
And here we go. What happened to Michael Jeans? Let me rephrase the question. What the hell just happened to Michael Jeans? It looks like he had to back out of it to stay off of... Oh. Yeah. He did. He was down on speed by about 5 miles an hour and looking into oncoming traffic, not a good thing. So he was trying to stay off of, it looked like Raul Alvarez. And unfortunately, Kevin O'Brien mistimed the run. Well then. I dare say we are going to see everybody going pit side now, being as you're within the distance of you can make it from here. Wholesale pit stops for everybody. And the one guy I want to keep an eye on is right there. And see if those winglets get fixed on Cooper Bennett's car. Ernie Ludwig stays out. And did they fix them? And they did. So Ernie Ludwig stays out to try to lead a lap. Only problem is he's going to have to stay out another lap to get the lap. Because Scott Brinson got to the line before he did, even though he was on pit road. So, winning the battle off pit road, your defending series champion and current points leader, Scott Brinson. Second off of pit road, the man who's already got a couple wins on the season and currently sits second in points, Sage Karam. The man who has not finished out of the top 4 in the past 4 races, Garrett Maines. Rounding out your top 5, Paul Crumry. And everybody in the top 5 except for Ernie Ludwig, who just got scored as leading a lap, has been down pit road. And I mean the entire field has gone down pit road except for Ernie Ludwig. So, on that note, let the gamesmanship begin. The 17 laps difference if Ludwig stays out. This is where it gets interesting, folks. We are at the halfway point of Top Fuel Racing League Indy Series. This is the AZ Direct Michigan 280. Tonight's broadcast and purse being brought to you by the awesome folks at AZ Direct. For all your computer needs, you can find them online. They do ship worldwide. If you name the peripheral, if they don't have it, you don't need it. Located in the greater Phoenix, Arizona Metroplex. So you can find them locally if you need to. AZ Direct. Cannot thank them enough for all the support they've given to this league. So Ludwig stays out. 19 laps on his tires. The entirety of the rest of the field has gone down pit road. Everybody except Ernie Ludwig can make it from here. I think Ernie's probably waiting right now for a quick caution, knowing that we are within, well, we're 30 to go right now. And he's just hoping to play spoiler from the looks of it. Going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. He's got points leader and defending series champion Scott Brinson to his outside. And he's got the two guys that are looking to dethrone Scott Brinson with Sage Karam and Garrett Maines directly behind them. So this is going to get very interesting very quickly as they work their way out of turn number 4. Pace car getting ready to make that hard left turn onto pit road. Ludwig's going to have the button as we are going to be, excuse me, we are 29 to go.
Green flag.
Ludwig
Green flag.
rolls into it. Brinson has to check up to avoid getting a penalty. And Karam goes through on the outside now. Brinson goes through on the outside. Ludwig looks like he may have missed a shift. Brinson wound up finally. Garrett Maines trying to go through as well. Karam shuts the door. Number 1 and number 2 in points. Looks like they're ready to slug it out for the win now. That's Karam on the high side. Brinson on the low side. Drag race down the back straightaway. Garrett Maines just riding right now, waiting to see what these two are going to do. Brinson hauls it off into turn number 1, pinches up. Karam has to take evasive action. Garrett Maines is thinking about making it 3 wide. As is Keith Maiato. Don't count either of those two drivers out. So Karam able to keep it wound up on the high side. Sage Karam to the point. Keith Maiato bombs it into turn number 3. Gets it to stick. And it's a drag race to the line. Maiato's going to get that one. 28 one-thousandths of a second. Karam battles back on the high side. Second lane where you want to be in 1 and 2. Not so much in 3 and 4. Shuts the door on Brinson as they go into 3. Brinson has to lift. He's getting into the dirty air. Maiato's able to keep it wound up. Here comes Sean Scott as well. And don't count out Garrett Maines. Maines is going to sail it into 3 on Sean Scott. Then use what little draft he can get off of Brinson. And here comes Nate Siefker. Mayato to the inside in 1. Brinson to the inside of Mayato. Karam shuts the door. Brinson just lost a ton of momentum, and here comes Garrett Maines. Siefker trying to go through as well. Mayato to the inside in 1. Has the clear as they haul off into the corner. Mayato is able to keep his foot into it on the high side. Maines trying to get through as well. Not where he wants to be. Sage Karam bombs it into turn number 3. Gets the clear on Mayato. Gonna slide up, get Mayato into some dirty air. Mayato gonna use the draft down the front chute. Give that lap to Sage Karam. Maines and Brinson side by side for third. Here comes Siefker as well. It's a free-for-all at the front right now. Maines trying to reel in Scotty Brinson. Brinson trying to hold him off. Keith Mayato wanting that spot as well. $20 to go. Brinson all over the rear wing of Mayato. Maines all over Brinson. Here comes Sean Scott through on the inside. Sean Scott was shot out of a cannon coming off of 2. Made quick work of Maines. Now sets his sights on getting by Brinson. Maines side by side with Sean Scott down the back straightaway. Maines losing a ton of momentum. That's Siefker on the high side as well. And here comes Damon Martinez. Mayato bombs it into 3. Here comes Brinson as well. Karam has no choice but to let him go. As we cross the line to start, 17 to go. Mayato shows the way. Karam on the high side. Brinson on the high side. Karam able to keep it wound up on that second lane. Brinson to the inside of Mayato as they haul up into turn number 3. $16 laps to go. Brinson on the low side. Mayato on the high side. Mayato able to keep it wound up on the top side. Brinson throws the block on Sean Scott. And here comes Michael Jeeves. They were almost 4 wide across the stripe for 4th place. 15 to go. And this whole front pack is just flat checked out. Siefker holding court on the high side, crosses Sean Scott over, gets a run down into turn number 1. Gonna bomb it in there, keep his foot into it, gonna try to slide up. Siefker up into 4th. Siefker now sets his sights on Scotty Brinson. Bombs it to the inside. Brinson keeps his foot into it, though. And gets the toe off of... That's Keith Maiato. Brinson crosses him over. Brinson used Keith Maiato as a pick. Nate Siefker had to back way out of it. And here comes Damon Martinez. Brinson up into 2nd. Maiato on the high side. Brinson on the low side. Martinez still slugging it out with Siefker. Maiato bombs it down low on Karam for the lead. Drag race to the line. Karam able to keep it wound up on the high side. And here comes Brinson. Brinson looking to get a 2 for going into turn number 1. Karam able to keep it wound up on the high side again. Side by side, they haul it off into turn number 3. Karam into the wall. Brinson muscling his way to the point. And now they start to do the snake down the back straightaway again. And here comes Martinez. Martinez to the inside of his teammate. Can he get it to stick? Martinez up into 2nd. 10 laps to go. Brinson shows the way. Martinez and Karam, the teammates, side by side for 2nd. Brinson trying to play both halves against the middle. He better not dick around too much, because if he looks in his rearview mirror, he's going to see a pack of angry dogs behind him. Oh! He hit Karam. Martinez just hit Karam. And that's the race. Or not.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Okay, let's take a look at what happened here. There's Maiato on the high side. Karam is off pace right now. Oh, that's a heartbreaker for Jesus. Garrett Maines. Jiminy Christmas. So, let's back this up a little bit more. And I gotta find... There he is. No, there he's not. There he is. Alright, so... keep your eye on Damon Martinez. It's the orange and red car, or sorry, the white and red car, just gets into his teammate. Let's watch that at half speed. Here they are going into one, through the middle of two. Martinez has a run and just times it wrong, puts Karam into the wall, messes up his own front wing. So now Karam is off pace. That's Mayato on the high side. Michael Jeans on the low side. Nate Siefker on the low side. Garrett Maines in the blue car behind them. So Mayato is trying to shoot the gap between Siefker and Karam. The gap narrows. Karam almost gets into the wall. And unfortunately, Mayato and Garrett Maines collided with each other. So, that's how that played out. Luckily, Mayato still had his fast repair. Did Garrett Maines? Yes. Both of them had their fast repairs. But this is going to be a big ask. Sage Karam finally having to burn his fast repair as well. Karam currently sitting in 7th. So, Brinson stays out. Michael Jeans stays out. Jeff Hollingsworth stays out. Sean Scott stayed out. Mark Walker stayed out. And Mark McFadden stayed out as well. Sage Karam wins the battle off pit road. And there's Jake Potak, second off pit road. And a driver we haven't mentioned a lot tonight because he stayed pretty quiet, Dylan Moskowitz. Only had a handful of starts with this league so far, is currently running in 9th. So great run for Dylan. Thank God he doesn't have In-N-Out Burger on that, or Whataburger on that damn car. So we are 2 to go. And you got to feel for Scotty Brinson. He's going to be a sitting duck when we go back to green. He is going to have to chunk the start like it's never been chunked before, so he doesn't get freight trained when they get to the back straightaway. Michael Jeans is hoping for the restart of his career. Jeff Hollingsworth looking for the restart of his career, hoping to steal one. Sean Scott has been on the podium, wants to be the 3rd member of SKM to put a win in the column for that team. And of all the nights to do it, first race of Breast Cancer Awareness Month would be the perfect night to do it. Mark Walker hoping to put a W in the column tonight. In the car commemorating Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Of all the races to do it, you picked a good one, Mark, if you can do it. So lights are out on the pace car. Quick look at your top 10 as they currently sit. Defending series champion Scotty Brinson is going to have the button. Michael Jeans is going to start outside row number 1. Jeff Hollingsworth inside 2, outside to Sean Scott. Mark McFadden, Mark Walker, Sage Karam, Jake Potak, Dylan Moskowitz, and Kevin O'Brien rounding out your top 10. We are going to have 2 to go when we get back to green. So, Scotty Brinson is going to need the restart of his career and then has to figure out a way to hold off everybody who's going to be charging behind him. Because the draft on the restarts is insane in this car. Field working its way through the 3-4 complex pace car, trying to make that hard left turn. Brinson not wasting any time. Hoping to catch everybody sleeping. As Michael Jean slugging it out with Sean Scott right now. And they bang wheels going into 1. Sage Karam dirt tracking through the middle of 1 and 2. Jeans right on the rear wing of Scott. Ah, they touch! And Jeans eats the wall. That's the race, folks.
Yellow flag is out.
Let's see what the chopper picked up. Jeans had a run coming down the back straightaway. He's in the slipstream. Goes to peek out. And there's the caution coming out. So that's the race. And I can pretty much guarantee you that Scott Brinson's not going to be happy. I know he didn't want to win it that way, but you're 2 to go. You've got to do what you can to try to protect your line. So checkered flag is coming out right now for your winner. Scotty Brinson led the most laps tonight, led 70. So of all laps, Scott Brinson led half of them. Wow, what a finish. And the guy who had a head of steam coming was Sage Karam. They would have definitely been interesting to see how that one would have played out had Sage gotten to him. So your winner, Scotty Brinson. Let's see if we can find a good camera view. something I do want to mention, too. How about the guy that finished in 11th tonight? Actually finished a race. Way to go, Sam Cooper Bennett. Proud of you, kid. So we are going to pause that one right there. And we are going to actually reach out right now to the guy that is taking the checkered flag home and the points lead, Mr. Scott Brinson. Scott, not sure if you saw everything that took place there, that final corner before the caution came out, but what a finish.
Yes, sir. No, hang on. Let me mute this chat here so I can hear you and talk to you. There we go. Much better. No, I don't know what happened at the end. Michael Jeans says we got together, but I didn't get any incident points, and I wasn't aware that we got together. I haven't had a chance to go back and take a look at it. That's what I was doing right now. But, man, yeah, dude, I'm sweaty, and that was some work tonight, man. Let me tell you, some of them passes I made out there, I'm still, you know, I can't believe I was able to put the car sometimes where I put the car.
Well, way to stink up the show, leading 70 of 140 laps.
Damn, I thought it was more than that.
Nope. Laps led, 70, Scott Brinson.
I'll take it. I didn't have any incidents. I don't think I did anyway. So I collected a whole bunch of bonus points tonight. Maximized the points. It was a great points night. Wow, what a hell of a race, man. Overall, it was a great race. Other than just my finish, it was I thought it was a pretty solid race all in all. We didn't have any green flag stops. Some people did, but I didn't make any green flag stops, but it was fun.
Well, it was good and refreshing to see the long green flag runs. And that's what we always see. That's the type of racing we see every time we come to the house at Penskeville.
Yeah, this league's notorious for putting on good races here at Michigan, and I think this was another good one tonight. Sorry if I sound a little winded and a little tired, but yeah, it's been that kind of night. This was one you had to work for.
I believe the phrase we're looking for here is Scott Brinson drove his ass off tonight.
I did, man. I've been in the zone all day. I knew yesterday, I was having a conversation with my girlfriend, and we were talking, and I told her this was a monumental race as far as the grand scheme of things of defending this championship. I got to start getting some of these because Sage is going to rack them up on the road courses. We all know that. So I got to cash my chips in, too, at these tracks that I'm strong at. And this is by far my strongest track on iRacing. So I was refusing to lose it tonight. Like I said, I don't know what happened with Michael there at the end, so I can't really comment on that, what went down. But I'll take a look at it. Me and him will talk about it. But either way, big win tonight.
Well, the other guy I want to talk about that had a hell of a finish, Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett, started third and actually brought the car home. Congratulations, Sam.
Yeah, I finally got the monkey off my back. I finished the race.
And I was trying not to talk about you all night because of that.
Yeah, I came home with 11th place. I was actually shocked about my qualifying position more than anything else. I mean, I do not know where that lap came from, but I got it anyway. But wish the race went the same way and hope to join Scott up on the podium. But 11th was the best I could get, just outside the top 10. But my teammate got it in anyway. It got into the top 10 just ahead of me. So I was happy with that regardless. But yeah, finally got a finish, and hopefully I can bring the momentum onto Phillip Island next week.
Well, I do need to ask the obligatory question for those of us that were watching the stream. When you got into it with Alberto Ribeiro, did you realize that you had the winglets missing?
No.
Yeah, that explains everything. So I was wondering why you stayed out. It was like he's got damage. Why is he? Oh, okay, saving his fast repair.
I didn't use it until lap 80,
and decided he needed it then.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he still had a hell of a finish. He finished 11th. I'm happy for my teammate. Sam's been chomping at the bit. I sent him a message earlier today that I just had a feeling, and I really did, that he was going to get a solid finish here tonight. Sam, I'm glad to see you get an 11th place finish and finish one of these bad boys, dude. And congratulations to our other teammate, Kevin O'Brien, for sneaking into the top 10. And Paulie was right there in 12th. So you guys finished 10th, 11th, and 12th after a tough race. So good job, guys.
I feel bad for Paul because he was having such a strong race as well, and then for him to fall back like he did,
Well,
really,
real quick before we get along with the rest of the interviews, we do need to touch base with you, Scott, about your thoughts going to Phillip Island next week.
Man, it's for road courses. I've actually won a race in the DW12 there here in Top Fuel Racing before, when guys kept stepping on their dick one night, and I stole it from them. So I run decent there. I'm just trying to get a top 5. And after this, man, I'm carrying some momentum, and I'll tell you what, Indy's looming. And that thing has been my unicorn. And I'm ready to put me and Eleanor aside, finally, if you get what I'm saying.
Well, joining us now, one guy who has got a lot of momentum going his way, one of the newest faces to the league, Mr. Sean Scott, arguably a road course specialist, coming home in second tonight. Congratulations, Sean.
Thanks, Tony. Yeah, it was a lot of good fun out there. Congrats to Scott for the win. He was out there in clean air making some good moves, and was really fun. We both came from the back at the start, and I was just trying to mirror him, so definitely good when you have an experienced driver to take it as an example.
Well, good on you, too, for putting the breast cancer awareness car on the podium tonight. Got to give you major props for that. Talk to us your thoughts on how you felt that last whole stint went. Were you licking your chops when you realized where you were restarting?
I was. It was kind of a crazy race because I drove up to the front, just sort of hanging with Scott, and then had a technical issue when I was going to restart P2 and crash under yellow. So I promised to everyone at home I wasn't drunk or not paying attention. I had a little bit of a moment there, but it was technical. So then I had to drop to the back, and to be honest, I was just happy to be back up there in the top 6 or 7 at the end, and was just content to ride it out if it went green. And then that last yellow came, and I just decided to stay out because why not? And hoping there would be an incident. I didn't know it would be that close to the front, but just thinking if I could get through turns 1 and 2, that maybe further in the back there'd be an issue, and could bring it home. So super satisfied with the P2.
Well, you're probably one of the best eyes to say what you saw, what happened to bring out that final caution. Tell us what you saw from your standpoint.
To be honest, I was looking out my mirror and my left and my right. I didn't really see it. I did see Scott and Michael come together, but I'd have to take a really good look at the replay before I had too strong of an opinion on it. I think it was just really hard racing coming to the white flag, and just nobody gave an inch, and they definitely had an incident, but I didn't really catch what I thought happened.
Fair enough. So your thoughts on going down under next week when we go to Phillips Island?
Really excited. I've never driven the track, so that presents a bit of a challenge, but getting used to these cars. I've done the oval races. They've been fun, and I did the Lotus 79 Sunday race last week, and I want to do it this week, so I need to do some more testing with the IR18 on the road course, but definitely excited because, like you said, that's a little more my bread and butter, so a lot to learn, but hopefully I can get it sorted.
Fair enough. And joining us now is another guy who is strong on both ovals and road courses, Mr. Jeff Hollingsworth, rounding out our podium tonight. Jeff, not the finish I know you were hoping for, but you probably got to be glad to be able to survive that one.
Oh, yeah. No, I had a stop that last caution, ended up in the lower end of, I think I was 11th, but anyway, so yeah, I was dodgeball out there. First off, I want to say, I don't remember who it was, but anyway, I got into somebody there, the car pushed up, but he ended up quitting, which I don't understand, but anyways, good race for me. Congrats, Scott. Really good run as usual there at Michigan, and just a lot of fun, man. And did you say I was good at road courses? Because what?
I've seen you do well at road courses on occasion.
You did a K at Long Beach on Sunday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What he said.
I practice a lot, and I just race the track, and I just let people go, and hopefully I'll finish well. But thank you. I appreciate that because I do put some effort into it.
Well, give us your thoughts about Phillips Island. Have you been there yet? Have you turned any laps in that, down under yet?
Not in this sim. I've raced it a long time ago in some PlayStation game or something, so I have to put in some practice for that one too.
Huge difference between here and there.
Local race driver.
So
yeah, I mean, I just bought a Long Beach, and I had fun at that track in that car too. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, I'll do some practice. Just shoot for surviving again.
Well, while I've got all four of you here, I know Sam and I are both looking forward to this coming Sunday when the BOFA Indy Classic Series moves to Road Atlanta with arguably the longest straightaway in all of North America. Let's start with Scotty Brinson. Your thoughts on going to Atlanta this coming week?
Atlanta.
Road Atlanta.
Yeah, no, I won't be there, so I really don't have any.
All right, Sean Scott.
No thoughts.
Yeah, I am planning on being there, and should be exciting. Last week was a really great race at Long Beach. Admittedly, longer than the road course races I'm used to. I normally do the sprint format racing, but I actually found it pretty enjoyable. Looking forward to Road Atlanta. I think it'll be really close racing. A lot tighter on the timesheet, and that straightaway leads to a lot of good drafting and passing. So just excited to not have any walls to bounce off of, and hopefully I can have a little bit cleaner of a race at Long Beach.
Yeah, and so he says, now watch who's going to be one of the first ones to find the tire barriers.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
And Jeff, your thoughts on going to Road Atlanta?
I think it'll be fun. I mean, again, I'll just race the track. I'm like Sean. Last week I had it was enjoyable just racing the track at Long Beach. It was a lot of fun. So anyway, Road Atlanta, hadn't been there a lot. I mean, I know the track pretty decent, but again, just another. I'm a left turner, so road courses are kind of speed bumps for me. So I just do the best I can.
Fair enough. Sam, let's get your thoughts on when we head there this coming Sunday.
Sunday's going to be great. I mean, it's a technical tracks with a long back straight, as you already mentioned. And these guys, I'm pretty sure they're going to put on one hell of a show. I mean, we've got a strong setup created by Michael Jean, so thanks go out to him. And yeah, it's going to be a good race for us to watch on Sunday. So I'll be definitely looking forward to that this coming Sunday.
Fair enough. And real quick, where are you and Scotty tomorrow night?
We are at Charlotte.
Please tell me not the Roval.
No.
Nope.
Okay. So that is going to about do it for us here tonight. Congratulations to Scotty Brinson for coming home with the victory. Sean,
I got some thank yous to hand out before we go here.
Go ahead, Scotty.
First and foremost, I want to thank you guys up in the broadcast booth. I appreciate everything that BOFA Broadcasting does for Top Fuel Racing. They do a lot. You guys, picked us up when we were in a bad spot. We've made a hell of a friendship and a hell of a relationship out of this, and I thank you guys for being here every week. Also want to thank Michael Lawler. He sponsored tonight's race, and he also sponsors a lot of things here in Top Fuel Racing. So big kudos to Michael, and Michael, we appreciate everything you do here. We look forward to seeing you back at the track. I know you're extremely busy, but we look forward to you coming back. I want to thank all the drivers that come out. We had another big field tonight, almost 30 again. Appreciate everybody that supports this league and comes out and makes it a point to race every Wednesday night. It's been a super competitive first half of the season. It was a super kick-ass competitive race here at Michigan tonight. I know the second half is going to be the same way. With Indy Lumen, I know that's going to be awesome. So thanks to all the drivers and everyone that supports this league. And lastly, I just want to thank my mom and my girlfriend and her kids and everybody else who supports me and tunes in and checks out the races. Thanks for tuning in. Love you guys.
And if you want to get in on the second half of the season, go ahead and wait till after the live stream is over. Drop a comment in the replay section with your iRacing screen name. We'll get that passed along to league management and see if we can't get you added into the action for the upcoming events here in Top Fuel Racing. So that is going to about do it for us tonight. Take a quick look at the results here. As Scotty Brinson coming home with the victory. Sean Scott hanging on for second. Jeff Hollingsworth coming home in third. Sage Karam, after getting run over by his own teammate, coming home in fourth. Mark Walker, fifth. Jake Potak in sixth. Mark McFadden in seventh. Damon Martinez hanging on for eighth. Garrett Maines, rough one for Garrett, coming home in ninth. Kevin O'Brien rounding out your top 10. Sam Cooper Bennett hanging on for 11th. Paul Crumry in 12th. 13th going to Keith Mayato. 14th going to Johnny Antonucci. Dylan Moskowitz coming home in 15th. Michael Jeans able to hang on for 16th after going on that wild ride coming to the white. Ernie Ludwig in 17th, Raul Alvarez in 18th, Nate Siefker in 19th, 20th going to Kieran Brugelli. I can really talk tonight. Honestly, I can, folks. Alberto Ribeiro coming home in 21st, Captain Will Kirk in 22nd, Jake Champion in 23rd, Kyle Streichars in 24th, Tyler Vickery in 25th, Robert Dudley rounding out the starters in 26th. That is going to do it for us here tonight. We will see you tomorrow night with Sam and Scotty up in the booth at Charlotte for Somo. And then I will be back in the booth Sunday for the Bofa Broadcasting Indy Classic Series from Road Atlanta. For Sam Cooper Bennett, for Scotty Brinson, this is Tony Trapasso saying we will catch you next time, folks.
I just want to wish my buddy Galen Goodman a happy birthday. Happy birthday, dude.
Happy birthday, Galen.
Happy birthday.